Would you have some sympathy for the family of a terrorist, please? Come on. Would you do that?
Such a nice man.
Yeah, come on, do the right thing. 9:05, good morning. It is great to be here on KCMO Talk Radio. That is what USA Today wants you to do in the wake of the terrorist attack in Boulder, Colorado this past weekend, where a man was throwing Molotov cocktails at pro-Israel protesters who were just trying to bring awareness to some of the Israeli hostages who are, of course, still being held by Hamas. So what does USA Today do? I mean, this is like satirical in nature. Even the Kansas City Star is blushing at this. They write a piece here headlined, Boulder's suspect's daughter dreamed of studying medicine. Now she faces deportation.
Nobody cares.
Yeah. Will anybody think of the daughters of terrorists who overstayed their visas, please? Could we have a moment of silence? I'm glad that USA Today found the real victim here. USA Today has not done any profiles on any of the people burned in the attacks or any of their family members and what they're dealing with. 2 people are still in the hospital. 8 were injured. But what USA Today elects to do is write about the daughter of a terrorist who tried to kill people who were peacefully protesting on behalf of Israeli hostages. And they write here, she moved to the United States with a dream of studying medicine to transform lives. Then her father was charged with attempting to take them in connection with a fiery assault on pro-Jewish protesters in Boulder, Colorado. Now, Habiba Solomon, daughter of Boulder attack suspect Mohammed Solomon, faces deportation along with the rest of her family. The family, originally from Egypt, moved to the U.S. from Kuwait. Habiba Solomon recently graduated from high school, but her aspirations were upended when her father was charged with a federal hate crime and 16 counts of attempted murder related to the attack that left a dozen people burned, including an 88-year-old Holocaust survivor. 2 remain hospitalized. Her life had been headed in a positive direction before the attack on the weekly demonstration in support of Israeli hostages held in Gaza, which came 3 days after her high school graduation. A federal affidavit says the elder Solomon told investigators he planned the attack for a year and waited for his daughter to graduate before carrying out the plot. Well, thank goodness we've got a real American citizen who cares about the American people in the White House. This guy was probably on his hands and knees, hoping like all get out that Kamala was going to win, because then he could pull out this attack, view himself as a martyr, and allow his family to still enjoy the fruits of the United States of America. But no more. Not under this White House, thank goodness. The White House said on X yesterday that Mohammed Solomon's wife and 5 children could be deported by tonight. FBI and police officials said Monday the family has cooperated with investigators. That's good. And they should be deported. If they weren't deported last night, they should be deported today. You don't get to, have your father, as someone who, by the way, overstayed a visa in the country illegally, commit acts of violence and terrorism against American citizens, and then say, yeah, we got to do something about him, but you're good. What message does that send to American citizens? Think about it. College is a zero-sum game. Theoretically, this man's daughter would take a position in college away from an American citizen. She also was someone who was awarded a scholarship. The USA Today, in this, quite a glowing feature they wrote here, Solomon was among 20 winners of the Best and Brightest Scholarship, according to Christopher P. Wren, chair of the Board of Gazette's Charities in Colorado. The scholarship affords winners a chance to have their academic excellence and future aspirations recognized in the local paper. Solomon was part of the 34th class of winners, according to the Gazette. Applicants need to have a minimum of 2.5 GPA. I don't know about you. I mean, I wasn't the best student ever, but I don't perceive a 2.5 GPA to qualify you as one of the best and brightest for a scholarship. I like 2.5 GPA. That's a pretty low barrier And that's considered qualifications for the best and the brightest scholarship that she won? That's crazy. And she was the only winner from her high school. So, yeah, you've got to take a stand here. If you're the FBI, if you're Department of Homeland Security, and if you're the President of the United States, where you are the president for the American people first and foremost. You look out for the American people first. Like, there may be more glowing articles about this individual within different media outlets moving forward. I don't know. But this was embarrassing from USA Today. And even by their standards, I was like, man, you can't be serious. Will anybody think of the daughters of terrorists who have overstayed their visas? Man, well, you know what? Are there no medical schools in Egypt, Kuwait?
I was kind of wondering that.
I was thinking about that, too.
Did you see what deterred her from pursuing studying medicine?
Yeah.
Just not here.
Exactly. Just not here. So go to medical school somewhere else. They exist. And we will now find your spot and use it for a worthy American citizen. Doesn't matter what their background is. Doesn't matter where they're from. But an American citizen now has an opportunity that is not being taken away by the daughter of a terrorist who is in the country illegally. And I can't speak for you, but I am not here to shed a tear over that one. 913-408-7957. On the text line, Pete, a 2.5 GPA got my head slapped back in the day. Yeah, listen, you're not getting into many med schools with a 2.5 GPA. My college roommate, who we had on the show, what was that, 2 weeks ago now, to talk about Biden's prostate because he's a urologist. The guy had like a 3.8 GPA at Villanova, and he didn't get into med school in his first try. He had to take a year off and retake the MCATs and do everything else to get in the med school, John.
When you get a 2.5 GPA, it's accompanied with a letter that says, have you ever considered broadcasting as a career?
Yeah. That's a very good point. Oh, man. But I don't know how we're even having this conversation with, I mean, we're not having it with a straight face, but some people are trying to have it with a straight face, but we're not doing it here. No way, no how. So we will send her off into the sunset. Hopefully the administration will be taking care of this family sooner rather than later. And I'll quickly let you know how the piece ends. They go on to write about this individual overcoming all her challenges, facing deportation. And they say here, the family is not the first connected to a suspected criminal to face deportation under President Trump's administration. They talk about 3 Venezuelans tied to the man who killed Laken Riley, the 22-year-old University of Georgia nursing student. And they used a couple other examples as well here. Good. And Trump's immigration policy continues to be his most universally approved policy that he has implemented his first few months in office.